Hello everyone. Did you know that if you need more time to file your tax return this year, the IRS lets you apply for a 6-month extension? That way there's no pressure to file by the deadline, which is coming up. March 15th is the due date for partnerships and S corporation tax returns. April 15th is the deadline for personal tax returns and small business owners who file Form Schedule C. So in this video, I'm going to show you what you need to know and how getting an extension can save money and headaches. All right, be sure to stay to the end of the video because I have a big secret to tell you. Okay, if this is your first time finding me, hello, my name is Tasha and I'm a tax strategist, business consultant, and coach to middle and high income entrepreneurs around the United States. To everyone who is already a part of my community, welcome back. If you're new, please be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you'll always know when I drop a new video. I'm always chatting about taxes and entrepreneurship because I like to keep my community informed. This video is for educational purposes only and should not be used as professional advice. If you want professional advice, ask your advisor, or you can contact me directly if you want me to be your advisor. Okay, so let's get started. First, let's talk about what is a tax extension. Okay. All right. So let me go here. I apologize, guys. Okay, so a tax extension is a request you make with the IRS asking for additional time to file. Some people get this confused because they often think that filing an extension also gives them additional time to pay, and that is not true. All right, the amount of extra time you will get is 6 months. Oftentimes, it's really a good idea to file an extension so that you can get additional time to have your returns prepared accurately, or so that you have additional time to work on your taxes. Having this extra time will reduce the chances of a mistake being made. All right. Also, filing a tax extension protects you from penalties if you later find out that you owe a balance once your tax returns are prepared. Okay, so you will still get penalized for paying late because although they approved additional time to get your affairs in order, they still wanted their money, okay, on the due dates. All right, that I mentioned in the beginning of this video. So they're also going to add interest to the balance you owe, and interest will continue to accrue like a credit card does until your tax debt is paid in full. This is why it's really a good idea to include some kind of payment with the extension. All right, trying to figure out about how much you should send is a bit tricky because it really has a lot to do with your potential tax liability, what your potential tax liability is for the year. So I'm actually going to take you to my website. Okay, if you go to my website, khardgeconnections.com. I have links here that will take you to where you need to be. So if you come to the tax center on my website, okay, you can come down to, this is a pop-up, okay. If you come to the tax center, you can go to federal income tax calculator, okay. And it actually is going to carry you over to another website, okay, which this will help you figure out what your tax liability is going to be. So you'd fill out your filing status. It's going to ask you some other questions. Let's say like you're married, filing joint. Okay, and then it's going to ask you your household income. It takes you through a series of questions. Okay, and that will kind of help you figure out what your potential liability is going to be. And then maybe you can get an idea of about how much you should send on that. All of it or some of it, okay? So now let's go back to the training. All right, so let's talk about penalties, okay? So the penalties you're going to be hit with if you don't pay on time are going to be 5% late fee per month on whatever the taxes due. Okay, and that's actually going to be up to 25%. So like I was saying, you get hit with these penalties because again, it's for the payment that's late, right? So not for the filing. Now, the thing is, what protects you when you file this extension is that at least you're not also getting hit with penalties for filing late. Because when you don't file an extension and you owe a balance, you're going to be getting hit with a late payment penalty. You're going to be getting hit with interest. You're going to be getting hit with late filing penalties. So that's what the extension protects you from the late filing. Okay, now let's talk about how do you file the extension. Okay. So you do have options. Okay, the easiest way is to go to the irs.gov website. They have a whole page dedicated to providing you with guidance on how to file an extension, which you may be able to do for free. So let's go there. Okay, let's come back over here. We're going to go to irs.gov. Now, if you go to do a search and just say file extension. Okay, so you'll come to here, extension of time to file your return. Well, actually, you see they give you a few options. So if you're filing an extension for your business, if you're filing an extension as an individual, so you would click on one of those. Okay, but these are going to be very helpful in showing you what you need to do. Now, what you can also do on here, besides going through here, you can also go to the actual extension forms, okay, and then you can fill it out, print it out, and then mail it to the appropriate place where it needs to go. But like, who really mails things anymore? Okay, so most of the time it's just better just to get everything done online. But the form is another option. Okay, now you do also have other options, like you can use one of the DIY online tax software websites. Any of them that you go to will give you an opportunity to file your extension. The good thing about it is that just because you file an extension with one of the online DIY tax softwares, you don't have to necessarily use them to actually file the tax return when you're ready to file, okay? Just, you can still go with one of the other sites if you want to, all right? And the last way to file an extension is to use a tax professional. Okay, that's another way. I have here these forms because 4868 is for individuals. 7004 is if you're a business owner, like a S Corp or a partnership, C Corp, and stuff like that. Okay, so yes, you can also use a professional to file your extension. Now, what is the due date? All right, so the due date, the answer to that is going to be when your annual tax return is due. So for example, if you're an LLC taxed as an S corporation, then your extension needs to be filed no later than March 15th. But if you're a one-person owned LLC, then your extension is due no later than April 15th, because it goes in with your personal returns, which is when your personal returns are due, April 15th, right? Okay, so sometimes that April 15th due date can change year to year, depending on what day of the week April 15th falls on. Like if it falls on a weekend, then your return or extension would be due by the next business day, okay? And like for this year, for example, they actually are giving us until April 18th to get those in. All right, so at the beginning of the year, it's just really good to just always check. So yes, after you file your extension, like I was saying, you'll be given an additional 6 months from the due date, but I would still suggest not waiting until the last minute. It's still a good idea to not take the entire 6 months before filing. Okay, and then here's the big secret. All right, if you're due a refund, all this penalty stuff does not apply. Okay, so if you do a refund and you don't file an extension, you're not going to be hit with a late filing penalty. All right, and a lot of people just don't even realize that just doesn't happen. Okay, so that's the big secret, and that's what a lot of people don't know, and the IRS is not going to tell you that. Okay, so that's pretty much the summary on what filing an extension is all about. Okay, if you found this video helpful, please be sure to share it. And if you're a small business owner filing taxes for the first time, I have a course just for you called How to File Taxes as Self-Employed. You'll find all of my contact information and courses and free resources in the description box. You can also book me for a consultation to get your personalized questions answered. And guys, I was having some technical difficulties, so I apologize that this last slide is cut off. All right. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.